So here, after we spoke um, about the letters, that generally speaking about letters, what they are, the Hebrew letters. So now we're going back to explain more in detail the secret of the four letters of the name of God, Yud, He, Vav, He. So the secret of the letter Yud. Yud is the 10th letter of the alphabet, and it's the first letter of God's name. So it's the first letter of God's name, and it goes up to its root. What is the root of this letter Yud? It's Keter. Keter is all the way up on top. It's the crown. So the Yud, this letter Yud, goes up to its root, which is the Keter, which is the crown. And it over there in the Keter, it receives its strength and the influx of energy from above, and it goes down in order to give over this energy and give over this good flow to the Chachma, the wisdom, which is dependent on it. So we have Chachma is below the Keter, the wisdom is below the crown, which is like the will or the desire. So the Yud goes up, goes to the Keter, receive this energy, goes down to bring it down to the Chachma, because this is how we have the flow of energy coming from heaven. It always comes from up, down, through the Sphirot, right? And it goes up with its crowns. Atara is like Keter. It's a similar word. It's a different word for crown. So this Yud, this letter Yud, goes up with its crowns, and it goes up to the 100 worlds which are included in wisdom, in Chachma. Right, so in Chachma we have 100 worlds. So what are these 100 worlds? So these are 100 is actually 10 times 10. There are 100 sphirot, like personal sphirot. That means the Chachma has its own set of sphirot, right? And their roots are depending on the letter Yud, and Yud is also 10. So therefore, since you have 10 sphirot and they're depending on the Yud, which is 10, so you end up with 10 times 10, so that's 100. And these 100 worlds, you have correlating to them the letter Yud, which goes up, the letter Yud, which it goes up to the Ratzon. Ratzon is the will, and it's the Machshava, which is the thought. Like Machshava is a thinking in Keter, but in Keter, which is the crown, the thinking is a thinking of will or desire. It's wanting. It's before you come down to the Chachma, which is wisdom. Before that, you have the initial wanting, the initial ratzon, the initial desire. So that's in Keter. And it's hidden, and it's inside the Keter. And and you can't understand it or know it, because the Keter is something so high and hidden. Like even the Chachma, the wisdom, is hidden because that's like the first thought, right? And then the will, the Keter, is even higher. It's even more hidden. But that's the source of the source, where it then comes down to the Chachma, and then after that to the other worlds, and then it becomes revealed in a way that you can understand it. So after that, the letter Yud of Chachma, of wisdom, comes down from the Keter, from the crown. It's covered under and inside the. It's like a walnut. We call it an egoz. Egoz in Hebrew is a nut. The outside is a very hard shell. The inside you have the fruit, the nut that you can eat. But the outside is a very hard shell. Okay? And this is the Bina, which is called an egoz. So it goes from Keter down to Chachma, then it goes to Bina. Bina is this egoz, which is like a walnut, and a walnut has a very hard shell. And the Bina, the understanding, is called an egoz, a nut, because it it's similar to a egoz, to this egoz nut, that it has its fruit are inside of two first okay, so it's like it has four heads. If you look at a walnut, when you open it up, it has four separate parts. It actually looks a little bit like a human brain in a way, and it's got these four separate parts that you can break apart, and they're connected in the middle. If you ever broke a walnut open without breaking the inside, you'll see that there's four parts, and in the middle they're connected. So also the Bina, it come out of the Bina, this understanding, this Sphira, comes out four Sphirot. What are those four Sphirot that come out of it? Chesed, Gvura, loving kindness, strength. Then you have Tiferet, which includes all of these six. Tiferet, which is beauty and compassion, includes all of these six Sphirot. So that's the third one. That's one. And then the last one is Malchut, kingdom. So those four come out of Bina. But they are connected, they stay connected and tied together when they're inside the Bina. They're not separate, they're all one. So the source is like the egoz has four parts, but they're connected in the middle. So when they're in Bina, they're connected, and then when they come out, they're split into four different parts. And also, this walnut, it's hidden and covered from all its sides with a very hard klipa, a very hard shell. We were talking about before what a klipa is. What is a shell? So this is a very, very hard shell, a walnut, and it's completely surrounded by this shell. So also the root of all the chesed, gvura, tiferet, and malchut, of all these sphirot, they're hidden and covered inside of the bina. When they're inside, they're completely covered, like a shell around them. And it's explained that it covers the hidden wisdom, the hidden chachma is inside of Bina. It's hidden inside of the understanding. And the Bina, the understanding, is a chariot that stands underneath the secret of, the hidden, which is the Chachma. So the Bina is under the Chachma. It's like a chariot for the Chachma. And the Chachma, the wisdom is hidden. And that letter, which is dependent on, that the Bina, the understanding, is dependent upon it, that letter is the letter Hey. And it's in the name of God, Yud Hey Vav Hey, and it's the first Hey of the word, because there's two Heys in the word. There's the second letter is Hey, and the last letter, the fourth letter, is also Hey. So the first letter Hey of God's name, Yud Hey Vav Hey, is the Hey of Bina, of understanding. And so it means that this one point that's hidden under it, because this Hey, the shape of it is the shape of a dalid and a foot. So let's explain that. We have to show it to you. Here we go. This is a letter Hey, right? It's got this shape like a right angle, and then we have this line. So this shape, this is a Hey. Now, you can also say that Hey is a dalid, because this on its own would be like a dalid, and then this little line over here in addition. It's like two letters, right? So it's dalid, and it's a foot on the left side, which is like a dot under it, and that's hinting to the letter of Yud. Okay, this over here, this little line over here is like a Yud. Let's see if we see a Yud. Over here we see a Yud, right? It's this short little line, similar to here, the Hey. So you have the Hey. This line is like a Yud, this is a Yud. So it would be a Dalid and a Yud. So what is that hinting? What is that showing us? So the Yud is hinting, it's showing that it's like the Yud of Chachma, because we said that the letter of Yud is Chachma. So, which is the root of the letter Hey. So we said that Bina is Hey, right? Chachma is Yud. We also said that the Bina is like hiding and covering. So what do we have? We have this Yud, which is the Chachma, is like literally hidden in the letter of Hey, which is the letter of Bina. It's like covering it, right? So this is just another little point that we're saying. You see, the Hebrew letters are not, like we said before, they're not just random shapes that you just pick a random shape and that means, this is an A. And everyone agrees this is an A, so we know what an A is. No, it's the actual shapes and the gematria, the numerical value, the sound. All of these have deep meanings, and it's actually part of like the DNA of the creation of the universe. It's the whole world is actually created from these letters. It means it's the essence in the deepest sense of the whole world is its source is like the atoms of creation, like the like the molecules, like the atoms, like even deeper, but on a spiritual sense, and it's comes down to this world in a revealed sense. So the source of everything is these letters, and everything was designed, right? It was God creation, right? Is the way he brings his light into the world is through the letters and then through the sphirot and through everything, but it's all has an intrinsic deep meaning. It's not just associated with any kind of idea, but it is actually the essence of the idea. So we have shapes, we have forms, and all of these are deep spiritual meanings. And we're going to be studying more of this in the Zohar coming up.